General Motors, the legendary American automaker that brought us Corvettes, Camaros, and some truly iconic engines. But not every chapter in GM's engine book is glorious. Some chapters are, well, disasters, mechanical nightmares, bold experiments that should have stayed on the drawing board. So buckle up as we explore the 10 most failed and weirdest GM engines ever made. This list is full of clunky designs, catastrophic failures, and ideas that just didn't age well. Prohibited 10, Oldsmobile Diesel V8, 1978 to 1985. Studio microphone. Let's kick off with a true disaster. The infamous Oldsmobile 5.7L Diesel V8. Designed during the fuel crisis, GM rushed a diesel engine into production by modifying a gasoline engine block with no reinforcement. The result? Head bolts stripped out, blocks cracked, and fuel systems failed constantly. Owners were stuck with cars that died prematurely or refused to start in winter. Lawsuits piled up, and GM's reputation for diesel engines never fully recovered. The moral? Diesel isn't just about saving gas. You gotta build it like a tank, not a tin can. Broken Heart 9, Cadillac 4100 HTV8, 1982 to 1985. Studio microphone. This one was supposed to bring Cadillac into the modern age. The HT4100 was lightweight, efficient, and technologically advanced on paper. But in reality, it was underpowered, overheated easily, and was plagued by internal coolant leaks and weak aluminum components. Many owners saw a total engine failure under 80,000 miles. It was a bitter pill for luxury car buyers who expected premium performance. The 4100's failure led to years of rebuilding trust in Cadillac's engineering credibility. Fire extinguisher 8, Chevy 60-degree V6, 2.8L, early versions. Studio microphone. Introduced in the early 1980s, Chevy's 2.8L 60-degree V6 was meant to be a reliable, compact engine for mid-sized cars. Instead, it was an engineering headache. Plagued by poor oil circulation, premature valve train wear, and leaky intake gaskets, this engine had all the signs of being unfinished. Performance was sluggish, and longevity was, let's just say, questionable. GM later improved the design, but the early years left a bad taste in many owners' mouths. Fire 7 Northstar V8, 1993 to 2011. Studio microphone. Ah, yes, the legendary Northstar. GM's high-performance luxury V8 that promised refined power. But under that shiny exterior was a world of chaos. The aluminum block and complex design caused frequent overheating, especially when coolant leaks developed from failed head gaskets. Worse, the head bolts often pulled clean out of the block. Repairing one of these could cost thousands and still might not last. GM spent years tweaking it, but the Northstar remains a textbook case of high-tech gone wrong. Hammer and Wrench 6, Pontiac OHC Inline 6, 1966 to 1969. Studio microphone. This engine deserves credit for innovation. The Pontiac OHC Inline 6 was one of the first mass-produced American engines with an overhead cam, a rarity in the 60s. But despite its futuristic appeal, it suffered from belt tension issues, oil leaks, and poor timing chain durability. Worse, the performance gains didn't match the hype. Drivers expected it to be sporty, but it often felt slower than the regular pushrod 6. In the end, Pontiac shelved the idea and went back to basics. Automobile Dashing Wave 5, Vega Aluminum Inline for 1971 to 1977. Studio microphone. Designed to be lightweight and efficient, the Chevy Vega's aluminum inline 4 was a tech-forward gamble. Instead of using traditional iron cylinder liners, GM used a high-silicon aluminum alloy, which sounded cool until it started overheating. Without proper cooling and maintenance, The engine would warp, seize, or burn oil like crazy. GM even had to recall thousands of Vegas to install better cooling systems. A great example of how being too futuristic without real-world testing can backfire badly. Firecracker for 5.7L V8 diesel again. Studio microphone. Yes, it's so bad, we're mentioning it twice. The 5.7L diesel V8 wasn't just a flawed engine. It was an engineering catastrophe. GM essentially bolted diesel parts onto a gas engine, hoping it would work. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Engines blew up under stress. Fuel injection pumps failed regularly, and the low compression meant it couldn't even match the torque of a smaller gasoline engine. Mechanics dreaded seeing these engines in their bays. It didn't just ruin a few cars. It scared America away from diesel sedans for decades. Puzzle piece 3, GM 3.4L DOHC V6, 1991 to 1997. GM tried to go premium with this one. The 3.4L DOHC V6 featured dual overhead cams, 24 valves, and a high red line. But it came with a price: complexity. The timing belt was buried deep behind components, making even routine maintenance a chore. It was expensive to fix, and didn't even deliver great low-end torque for daily driving. Despite some cool applications like the Oldsmobile Cutlass and Pontiac Grand Prix GTP, this engine frustrated both drivers and mechanics alike. Wrench 2, Saturn 1.9L SOHC engine, 1991 to 2002. Studio microphone. Saturn was GM's different kind of car company, and their engines were definitely different. The 1.9L sock inline for an early Saturns was durable in design, but suffered a major flaw: oil consumption. These engines burned oil at an alarming rate, often without smoking or leaking, which let owners run them dry and season them up. GM never fully addressed the issue. Many Saturn fans love the simplicity of this motor, but even diehards admit it guzzled oil like a V8 on a racetrack. Robot Face 1, Cadillac V8-6-4, 1981. And now, for the weirdest and most famously flawed GM engine ever, the Cadillac V8-6-4. This Frankenstein of an engine could deactivate cylinders on the fly for fuel savings. But here's the problem. It was 1981, and the computers couldn't handle the job. Drivers reported surging, stalling, and rough performance. Most people had the system disabled, forcing the engine to run permanently in V8 mode. It was a cool concept, but decades ahead of its time, and a total failure in execution. There you have it. 10 engines that GM probably wishes you'd forget. Whether it was over-ambition, poor engineering, or just plain bad luck, each one tells a story of risks that didn't quite pay off. Have you ever owned one of these mechanical misfits? Got a horror story from the engine bay? Share in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more car history, automotive fails, and deep dives into the weirdest corners of the industry. This is your channel name, and we'll catch you in the next one.